Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next Avatar news update video. This is just going to be a quick one. We have a tiny little bit of information, but it's important information about the Legend of Korra comics, specifically Legend of Korra Turf Wars Part 1, or Book 1 as it seems to be called here based on this Penguin Random House listing. So they have put their listing up, and it's got most of the information we've already known about before, such as the product description, what we've heard about before, and also, page count. I think we knew this already. I think this is one of the first things announced, that they are keeping the Korra comics in the same format as the Avatar comics. So they're going to be solicited as 80 pages, but realistically that means like 72, 73, 74 pages of story. Once you actually get down to it, with the other pages being like the pages that show you the creative team. There's obviously a preview page at the back for the next book and so on, so that's how it makes up 80 pages. But the big piece of information, they have a date here. We already know June 2017. Now we know June 20th, 2017. Now if you look at the calendar, June 20th, 2017 is a Tuesday. So that means that this is the mass market release date for this book. The book in comic book stores will be out before this, assuming this date is correct. As ever, the way we do that is usually the way it works, and it has worked basically perfectly with all the Avatar and Korra stuff up to now, is that you go back 13 days. So it's like 2 weeks before on the Wednesday of that week, so 13 days previously. That would mean that the initial release of this book is going to be on June 7th, so really early in the month. So that's fun. That's definitely something that we were kind of wondering about, because the dates in June that it could have come out on in comic book stores are the 7th, the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th. And I think most of the time we tend to go for the bottom one, 21st, 20th, 28th. But it's really interesting to see that, at least initially, it seems to be planned for the 7th. So 7th comic book store release date. The only place you'll get the book on that day is comic book stores, and obviously comic book stores who will ship it online or whatever to you. And then you have to wait 13 days later for the 20th, and that's when places like Amazon will start to ship it out to you. You'll start to find it in places like Barnes and Nobles. So just be aware of that. But that's really all there is. I'm not really sure if the whole book 1 thing, if that really means anything. Let me just on Penguin Random House actually look up North and South, just to see what they say about it. Or do they call it North and South Book 1, or do they still call it Part 1? It's a really kind of minor point, but it's just something I do want to look at. So yeah, looking at it here, they have Smoke and Shadow Part 2, Part 1. So yeah, they call them parts for the Avatar books. So they may be calling the Korra Stuff Book 1, Book 2, Book 3 of Turf Wars. So very minor point there, but it just seems that that's the notation that they're going for with this. Turf Wars Book 1. They say cover coming soon, which I'd say it's still potentially a little bit early for the proper cover. We obviously know what the cover image is. You can see it on the on screen on the image here, but we haven't seen the cover yet with all the kind of the details, like the Legend of Korra logo, where exactly they placed the title of the book on the page, and the stuff like that, the Dark Horse logo. So the full actual product image cover, we don't have that yet, but according to them, cover is coming soon. I'd probably expect that maybe next month, maybe January, especially for Part 1, so they tend to put the covers up pretty early, just so you know what you're looking for with these books. Other than that, I did read through the description. It's the exact same as the one we got before. Covers all the basic bits that we already knew about before. Pompous developer, triads and evacuees, Korra and Asami. I actually suppose that the start of it is actually a little bit different now that I'm properly looking at it. So I'll just actually read the whole thing out. It's probably slightly differently worded than what we have already. So, relishing their newfound feelings for each other, Korra and Asami leave the spirit world, but find nothing in Republic City but political hijinks and human versus spirit conflict. A pompous developer plans to turn the new spirit portal into an amusement park, potentially severing an already tumultuous connection with the spirits. What's more, the triads have realigned and are in a brutal all-out brawl at the city's borders, where hundreds of evacuees have relocated. In order to get through it all, Korra and Asami vow to look out for each other, but first they've got to get better at being a team and a couple. So they have added a few little things to it. It's basically the same description. I think the middle paragraph is the exact same, but they've changed the start and end of this to add a little bit more Korra Asami stuff to it. So I don't remember it starting off with the whole relishing their newfound feelings for each other. I don't remember the bit at the end saying, but first they've got to get better at being a team and a couple. It was definitely a team, or I think they just said get better at working together, but now they've changed that to say at being a team and a couple, which I think makes sense. I think that's actually a better way to put it, in that I think most people would agree with their relationship. We don't really know a ton about their dynamic together, because they haven't spent a ton of time on screen together. So how good are they at like just working together if they're placed like just these two together to do something, and also how are they as a couple? So there's kind of two parts of that they have to develop. That it really feels like the description is aware that people feel that the relationship is underdeveloped, and they're kind of telling us here in this description, we will develop their relationship as a couple and just as people. And I think that is something that's definitely really good to do. They also then mention written by series co-creator Mike DiMartino and drawn by Irene Coe, and with consultation by Brian Konietzko. This is the official continuation of Legend of Korra. So that's interesting that they are noting on this consultation by Brian Konietzko. They never really did that with the Avatar comics. I think they might have done it with the first Avatar comic, where they mentioned that Mike and Brian were consulting. But it's interesting that with the Korra comic, like, Mike is writing it, but they still add in that, like, kind of part of the creative team is Brian. But we've known most of that before already. As I said, the key piece of information here. June 20th is what Penguin Random House is saying for mass market release date in regular bookstores. Given the way the release dates usually work, that would suggest a June 7th comic book store release date, and it seems like the way they are titling these are just Legend of Korra is the series name, and then Turf Wars Book 1. They're going with Book 1, Book 2, Book 3. I suppose just to potentially not kind of confuse people with like, oh, they're both Avatar, but there's Korra and there's Avatar, and there's potentially going to be different parts coming at it at one after the other, in that you're going to have like North and South Part 2, you're going to get North and South Part 3, then you're going to get Korra book it would be Part 1, and that could confuse people, but they're saying here Book 1, so I don't really know. There's probably some like marketing specific reason behind that, behind like that it probably might confuse some people, but it's just interesting to note there. So yeah, gonna end the video there. In the comments, let me know what your thoughts are on this little bit of news. But yeah, that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.